Hey everyone, I'm Joy Chu, a former scientist turned content creator, and the goal of my YouTube channel is to help people discover the joy of cooking with science. In the last video, I kicked off my summer recipe series with creamy smooth hummus. You'll want to check it out later because this week I'm making something that goes really well with hummus: homemade pita. They're easy to make, and I kid you not, you'll be tempted to climb into one like it's a comfy sleeping bag. And if you make them right, they'll even have those wrinkles that make the sleeping bags look so plush. But first things first, I want to bring up a question that's probably on everyone's mind right now. How do you get pita consistently with pockets? To answer that, I'll be sharing 3 science-based secrets that will help you get those coveted pockets every single time. I'll explain the science in more detail later, but for now, here's a quick summary. First, make a dough that's around 60% hydration. Second, roll your pita no more than a 1/4 inch thick. And third, use a pizza stone or steel with the oven temperature as high as it will go. The gist is that we need to create enough steam inside the pita to get them super puffy.
To make a small batch of 6 pita, I'm using 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon instant dry yeast, and 1 teaspoon salt. Then I'll stir everything to combine.
Now it's time for the liquid portion and secret number 1. We need enough moisture in the dough to create a good amount of steam during the baking process.
For this recipe, I'll add 315 grams of water. I'm using a stand mixer to knead this dough for about 12 minutes until the dough feels soft and tacky like this.
You can cover the bowl with a towel and let the dough rest in a warm place until doubled. I like to let it rest overnight in the refrigerator to let the yeast eat through the sugars more slowly. Giving them more time for fermentation creates better flavors in your dough. And maybe this is just me, but it feels kind of nice that they're so productive while I sleep.
For today's video, I'm continuing with dough I rested overnight. You want to squeeze all the air out. Divide the dough into 6 equal portions, about 130 grams or so, and roll them into balls. They're kind of sticky on the bottom, so you can place them on a kitchen towel and cover them with another towel.
Let them rest until the dough is very easy to roll out without shrinking. Remember that any sort of kneading will wind up those gluten proteins in the dough, so we need to let the dough relax enough that we can easily form the balls into flat rounds.
The dough is ready when you press on the ball and the indentation doesn't spring back. First, sprinkle a bit of flour on the surface to keep the dough from sticking too much. To flatten into rounds, you can use a rolling pin, but I like using my hands. If you're looking for a great stress relieving activity, by the way, I definitely recommend the hand method. Now for secret number 2. Roll the rounds no more than a 1/4 inch thick so that the pita won't overbake.
So why is the thickness important? Think of a pita kind of like a balloon. The dry outer layer of the pita is like the outside of the balloon. Its job is to act as a barrier to trap air inside. The heat in the oven is like somebody blowing air into that balloon. The hot air turns the dough's moisture into steam, expanding the gases and separating the top and bottom layers to form that pocket. If the pita is too thick, it'll basically be too heavy for those layers to separate.
I'll cover the rounds with a kitchen towel and let them rest for another 20 minutes to help them form that dry outer layer.
In the meantime, let's talk about the last secret. Here's the reason I recommend a pizza stone or steel. Unlike an aluminum baking sheet, a stone or steel retains heat really well, which means that the pita directly gets all the heat it needs to puff up.
For my small oven, I put in 1 round at a time. I bake the first side for about 10 seconds, and then I flip it and watch it like a hawk until it puffs up like a balloon. Look at that pita. This is one of the most incredible and magical things to behold. I honestly could watch pita bake all day, if only the oven didn't make my apartment so hot. To keep the pita soft and moist, wrap the freshly baked ones in a clean kitchen towel. I'm going to cut this pita open to check for pockets. And yes, indeed, we've got ourselves some lovely looking pockets.
There are so many ways to eat pita, but for today's video, I'm going to show you my version of a falafel pita sandwich. So I'm actually really hungry right now, so don't mind me if I start digging in. Bon appetit! The pita is just perfect. It's super fluffy and soft, And of course, I love falafel. Falafel is always great. So tasty. And yeah, the sandwich is just really good. Thanks for watching. For the recipe, subscribe to my free Substack newsletter to get the full version with notes. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning more about the science of everyday cooking, like and subscribe to the channel below. I hope you'll enjoy making some delicious pita this weekend, and see you in a couple of weeks.
Ooh.